Okay, so I'm gonna be sorry, I'm gonna be streaming more Lucid9. Maybe just like an hour or an hour and a half. We'll see. Okay, hey loser, we have something to say to you. Lucky me. They ignore me, crossing their arms in uncanny unison. We heard that you're giving Elizabeth a hard time. I glance at Elizabeth, whose eyes are wide with panic. Interesting. Looks like she has no hand in this development. Then where did they get their information from? You'd better stop before we make you. Elizabeth deserves better. Idiots. I only snort and turn back to my homework. Hey, look at us. No thanks. I don't feel like vomiting, I think, but manage to keep my mouth shut. Thoroughly exasperated of these girls, I nod my head at Elizabeth and raise my eyebrow in warning. Her face pales slightly and she slides over to my desk, smiling faintly at the three girls. Hello. Oh, Elizabeth, this guy's been bothering you for a while, right? Elizabeth opens her mouth, clearly intent on agreeing with the girl, but I shake my head ever so slightly. She grits her teeth together, but somehow manages to keep her smile intact. Thanks for your concern, but it's really fine. The girls blink in clear surprise. Oh, are you sure? Weren't you just saying the other day? Saying what? I don't know what you're saying, haha. She sends an uneasy glance at me. I only smile innocently. This really shouldn't be fun, but it is, remarkably so. I thought Yama was bothering... No, it was, a misunderstanding. Oh, alright. They nod slightly at me, like that's an adequate apology. While keeping an eye on you, don't mess with Elizabeth. Then they strut out of the classroom, their footsteps in perfect unison. I turn to Elizabeth. She grips the edge of her seat until her knuckles turn white. I really can't believe you. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Despicable. She turns away from me in a huff. Excuse me? I'm not even the one who started it all. Heck, she's the one who's constantly picking a fight. It's always been that way. I'm just gonna pause for a sec. Just gotta do something. Okay. So whatever, this isn't even worth thinking about. I turn my attention back to the front of the classroom as the break comes to an end. The rest of the morning class is slugged by uneventfully. This time Elizabeth is clearly sulking. Mizaki is just as focused as ever. And by focused I mean that she's on her phone the entire period. When lunchtime comes around, I tap Yahiko on the shoulder as I grab my backpack. Hey, lunch? Oh, what? Lunch, cafeteria. Oh yeah, sure. Right, cafeteria. Something wrong? Nope, nope, absolutely nothing wrong. I was just thinking, you know, it'd be nice to have a couple more minions. Isn't that what your club is for? Club? The blank look on his face is foreign to me. I slap him on the back. You know, a club that'll take over the universe, your minions. Or clearly, I'm really bad at this. Whoa. Huh? It's lunchtime. When was it? Did I time travel? What? A quick sigh of relief passes my lips before I'm able to spot it. It seems like Yahiko's back to normal. Yeah. It's 418 AD. You've been asleep for 2,000 years. I have? I don't feel that rested. Well, we kept you in cryo-freeze during a light stage of your sleep cycle rather than REM. You mean I was scammed on 2,000 years of deep sleep? On the contrary, you were saved by 2,000 years of homework. Oh, I guess you're right. I wonder when he'll realize that I'm not supposed to be alive. Well, super realistic hologram Yama, shall we go grab some lunch? Or do you guys still eat that kind of thing? Or could you make a totally ridiculous yet somehow plausible assumption? Indeed we do. Then what are we waiting for? I want to see what kind of cuisine has developed after 2,000 years. Thoroughly re-energized, he skips out the door. I'm just about to follow, but I feel a sudden tap on my elbow. Yama Ishimoto? It's a girl from the cafe. Natsuki, was it? I glance at Elizabeth. She's in the middle of some fluffy small talk with her groupies, and intentionally keep her back to me. Lizzie's over there. I'm aware of that. She isn't the one with whom I wish to speak. What do you want? I have a simple question for you. As far as I can tell, nothing's simple when it comes to this girl. Have you ever felt like two people are fighting for your body? What? More specifically, fighting for control over your body. Like mind control? No, more like two different entities in simultaneous residence, resulting in widely different actions or processes of thought. That's interesting. Chill runs up my spine. I think it'd be fairly obvious if I'm going through something like that. Well, you may or may not have a recollection of the other entity. Something about her mysterious smile sets me on edge. And what's with the sudden questions? Psychology paper. We're studying dissociative identity disorder, which is colloquially, it's known as multiple personality disorder. I don't even know how to say that word. I would say you should know of it already, but perhaps your alter ego surfaces during psychology class. I clench my jaw at her obvious accusations, searching to find an answer. In her face, I find none. So, do I look like the kind of person who has multiple personality disorder? Do you want to know the answer to that question? Look, I gotta go, I'm sorry. Try asking Elizabeth. She's the one who rapidly switches between being nice and being a pain in the ass. She only nods and smiles, but I sense her eyes boring through the back of my head as I slip out of the classroom. Interesting. I attempt to shake off the encounter as I head to the cafeteria, but Natsuki's words linger in the back of my mind. Thankfully, when I arrive, Yahiko immediately waves me over, face cheerily shining. Have a seat. my loyal minion, today's special is baby back ribs. I can see that from your plate. You can divine stuff from my plate. Look into my life fortune. He's acting awfully normal. Did he already forget that he's supposed to be 2,000 years into the future? Just eat. Well, I suppose I'll let it slide this time, but a master is supposed to command his minions, not the other way around. Exactly. What? Nothing. Glance around the cafeteria as I start on my own plate. Holy. I recognize quite a few faces. Natsuki and Elizabeth surrounded by groupies. Masato and a few track members. Akira and a few drama club members. Ruri's absent, probably speaking to Mr. Ryuta on my behalf. Mizaki too, though I rarely see her around outside of class. And in the corner, eating alone, is Eri. She seems to be satisfying herself with her own plate of ribs. Doesn't look like it would have been her head. But something about the picture looks empty, lonely. Say, that gives me an idea. So how's it been with the ladies? Need you even ask? Fantabulous, of course. Would you mind teaching this humble servant your ways? I thought you'd never ask, but why now? Try to wave off his question by gesturing in Eri's direction. So how about her? Oh, someone's caught your eye, have they? His eyes flicker in Eri's direction. I expect him to coo about how adorable she is, how lovely her hair is, how perfect her nose or chin or whatever is, but he only pauses, his brow furrowed in confusion. Oops, I hit the mic. Huh? What is it? She looks kind of familiar. Like really familiar. Ordinarily I'd think that he's crafting a pickup line, but his bewilderment seems genuine. Where'd you see her? I have no clue. Eventually, he just shrugs this off with an easygoing grin. Well, my good minion, we shouldn't be wasting time. Watch and learn from the great master. Well, I guess it's not important. As always, it would be an honor to see your spectacular techniques. I know, right? You should be grateful I'm not making you pay tuition for such enlightening lessons. Well, they're clearly enlightening, but probably not in the way he's thinking. I bet that the number of girls you've seduced is uncountable. You got that right. Well, technically 0 is uncountable. First lesson, my dear apprentice, never waste time. Are they eating? Great. Depressed and withdrawn? Fantastic. Saying that they want to be alone? Perfect. Love waits for nobody, Yama. Remember that. I can't help but chuckle at just how terrible his advice is. By any chance, have you gotten slapped? Oh yeah, all the time. Why is he saying that like it's a badge of honor? You see, evoking a strong reaction means that you've touched the young lady's heart. The line between love and hate is thinner than the line between love and apathy. That's why the most important thing is to make a big impression. That's unusually perceptive. On that note, we're wasting time. There's adorable lass to seduce. Yahiko promptly skips over to Eri, eyebrows raised in flirtatious attack. Hey, how does it feel to be the most beautiful girl in the room? Looks like the Ikari is already hitting hard. How will his opponent respond? It's not very effective. Can I see your uniform tag? I gotta see if you were made in heaven. Spectacular hit. How will the last dodge into this one? China. Huh? The uniforms are made in China. Ikari staggers back from the fatal counter. Well, I mean, Seems that he's in a state of shock. The last seizes this opportunity for an offensive maneuver. Your food. What? Will you eat it? Hey, what are you doing to my ribs? It's a critical hit. The lass's bold move has paralyzed Ikari. You're gonna get fat if you eat so much. I'm 102 pounds. You're what? But you can't be that short. 5 feet 2 inches. Super effective. Ikari's silence. The lass spends her free turns munching on her newly acquired meal. It's sort of adorable, like a baby hamster munching at. But anyway, back to the match. Ikari studies the lass for a moment, no doubt attempting to analyze any potential weak points. This girl's a tough one. Usually I don't allow things like this, but Yama, why don't you give it a shot? Nah, I'm just a commentator of this battle. What? Nothing. Thankfully, Ikari decides to switch his attention from the lowly commentator back to his original target. Why aren't you responding? You should be more honored that someone like me is paying attention to someone like you. Ooh, that's harsh. Don't tell me, you don't swing that way? I'm straight. A clean hit at his vital point. It looks bad for Ikari. Then why? The lass merely finishes up Ikari's ribs and moves on to her own. Are you a witch who took some weird position or potion to resist me? Why are you unaffected by my charms? Ikari has gone berserk. He's attempting wild haymaker. Stop ignoring me. Ah, forget it. You're just like the other commoners. You don't deserve being seduced by a superior being like me. Answer me when I'm talking to you. My meat is getting cold. What an amazing display of indirect trash talking. The lass has just placed Ikari's below some humble baby back ribs. Ikari hurt himself in his confusion. Meanie, bully, I'll have my revenge. I tell you, revenge. And Ikari exits the ring, automatic forfeit. Instant KO. Nothing. As Ari finishes up the meat on her plate, I settle into the chair next to her. It's hard to tell from the stoic expression on her face, but she seems a little happier than a few moments ago. Do you want my ribs? Didn't you eat them all? I did. Then why did you offer? Then why are you here? At the very least, she's more open than when I met her yesterday. I'm sitting. Sitting is nice. Her expression doesn't even budge. Sitting makes the world go round. And sitting is good for you. It's bad for you. Her sudden response catches me off guard. What? Well, at least she's talking to me. That's a start. How can sitting be bad for you? Higher risk in obesity, high cholesterol, lower back pain, cardiovascular disease, and type 2 diabetes. She says it so monotonously that I can't tell whether she's joking or deathly serious. But sitting doesn't cause that, right? Ari evaluates me for a moment, but only returns to her food without a word. I'm searching for a different topic to discuss when she abruptly speaks again. What's your name? Yama Ishimoto. Wow, dots. You're not going to comment on that? You know, it's an unusual name. Not like Le Rogue Lamprey. The Rogue Lamprey. As in from Code Durs. You know it? Vaguely. It's a fairly popular series among young adults, but I'm surprised that someone like her would know about it. Well, next to the Rogue Lamb Parade, there can't be many strange names. That looks like a butt she's holding. Ari only reaches into her backpack and begins to munch on a peach. For a moment, I pick up at my ribs in silence, but but she speaks again. What is your deuce? My what? Deuce, special power. I'm not sure where she's going with this, but I guess I might as well follow her. My special power is creating sardines out of thin air. Canned or fresh? She doesn't seem phased in the slightest. Both. So freshly canned? I guess. Make some now. Sardines? This is like weird. Of the many weird situations I've encountered over the course of my short life, this just might take the top. She's joking, right? Sure. I flourished my hand and tapped the table. They're sardines. That's a table. What was she expecting to see? Actual spontaneous materializations of freshly canned sardines? You know I can't actually make sardines out of thin air, right? You said you could. Either she's better at trolling than I am, or she really wasn't joking. I wasn't serious. So why did you say it? I'm too baffled by her thought process to make an intelligible reply. Thankfully, Aria only returns to nibbling at her peach, as if she'd never asked a question. The awkward silence is punctuated by the signature school bell, an opportunity that I take with gratitude. Well, see ya. She blinks widely at me. My name is Eri Hiriga? I don't even know. Okay. That was abrupt. I didn't tell you before. She suddenly stands, picks up her tray, and strides to the opposite side of the cafeteria to dump her dishes. Well, that was random. What an eccentric girl. Unless by telling me her name, she was trying to say that she trusted me, or that she'd like to become friends. Maybe she has some kind of mental disability that inhibits her social functions. She's offbeat but interesting. That's kind of rude. I can see why she became the scapegoat. It's likely that the other students are scared by her unorthodox behavior. Just because she's different, she becomes the bad guy. They should know better. They should give her a chance. Afternoon classes are another dreary past. This time, even Yahiko is sullen, staring into his desk and murmuring nonsensical words under his breath. The moment the bell rings, Masato blazes into the classroom and lunges for me. I instinctively crawl beneath the desk, bracing myself for the full measure of his fury. You. I glance around the classroom. Yahiko is staring blankly at Masato. Got some fighting music going. Elizabeth is once again immersed in conversation with her groupies. Mizaki is Mizaki. I wave frantically in her direction, but she's too immersed in her phone to pay me any heed. You know how many days you've skipped track? 3? Wrong. The answer is too many. Hey look, I've been busy. Like hell you been. Busy with what? Napping, eating, thinking? He's got a point. You disappoint me, man. Yeah, join the club. Damn it, just stop ditching. Well, I don't blame him. Oh, there's Rui. Rui strides into the room. She hesitates when she sees Mizaki, but shakes it off in the blink of an eye. What makes you say that, eh? Well, you know, all you talk about is track. Yama's probably tired of hearing it by now. But I don't just run. I can swim too, and do basketball. She ignores him and the approaching Mizaki and smiles gently at me. Don't worry, Mr. Ryuta says that you're not in trouble. Mr. Ryuta? Why would... Oh right, Shoji, the fight. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But that's not what's important right now. She has to save me from Masato. Say Rui, don't you think it's awfully late and we should be... But Mizaki rushes in front of me, reaching for Rui's hand. Rui, I need to speak to you, but Rui only steps back from both of us, staring blankly at Mizaki. Why won't you listen? I told you the other day, leave me alone. It's you who isn't listening. Oh, cold. She whips around on one heel and marches out of the room. What is that? Shakit? This too, I don't know, to deal great? I don't know. Wait, what did you just... But she flies past me and sprints out of the room, right on Rui's heels. Masato stared wordlessly at her back, mouth agape. That girl, Miyazaki, she wasn't talking street? Or she was talking street? Talking what? Nothing. Ain't nothing. Wait, did you understand her? Yeah, 'cause I didn't. Hang it, you're changing the subject again, ain't ya? You? What? Me? No. You gotta come to track, man. I'll drag you there myself. Time to resort to drastic measures, since I was ditched by everyone. Actually, where did Yahiko go? Huh, that's weird. Well, what's it gonna be? Oh, would you look at the time? I gotta go. Don't do it, man, don't. And I promptly run for my life, lunging over desks and chairs and bowling down the hallway. Nice. There's only one safe place from being bulldozed by his fury, one place that can be a haven for a refugee. I slam my fist against the door, ignoring the bewildered stares of passing students. Mr. Ayuta, open up before I die. Ah, dang nabbit, kid. Why do you always have to interrupt me in the middle of a battle? Nevertheless, the door creaks open. I jump in and kick it shut, twisting the lock with what may or may not have been a little more force than necessary. Mr. Ayuta is staring at me with an eyebrow lifted and mouth slightly agape, no doubt taking in my unkempt mass of hair and sweat beading on my forehead. First a fight, now running from someone? You just love trouble today, don't you, kid? Probably more like trouble loves me. Oh, kid, important life lesson. Trouble only finds people who are looking for it. So basically, I deserve everything that happens to me? I didn't say that. Just that sometimes people who want nothing more in life than to go through do nothing significant and pass on in peace, while they actually want a whole lot more. I don't understand. Well then, maybe we should talk about something else. I hesitantly take a seat and glance over my shoulder. No sign of the marvelous Masa. Since you're here, I guess we better have a proper session. Why are you being chased? Too popular with the girls? As if. It was Masato Kurogen. He loves track, and I don't, so he's trying to change that. And I presume it's not working out so hot for you. Yeah, you could say that. Come on, let's have some crazy flashbacks. Actually, it seems like Masato's always been on my case because of track, even the first time we met. Well, it was at last year's club recruitment day. I remember hating that time. Well, to be fair, I hated everything, but especially club recruitment day. No matter how quiet and insignificant I tried to be, someone would always call me out every minute. They'd try to get me to join language club or music club or art or even squirrel watching club. That sounds fun. As you can imagine, by the time I met Masato, I wanted nothing to do with clubs, especially from someone who, frankly speaking, looked like the stereotypical idiot jock. Strong student, wow. Hey you. But contrary to popular belief, I actually did have some semblance of manners, so I stopped and turned to address this bothersome kid. Not interested. That's not very good manners. I expected some fake smile or even some pleading, but to my shock, the guy immediately pulled back his fist and socked me right into the face. Ow, what the hell? Don't give me that, bull. I ain't even said anything yet. Awful rude of you to not even give me a chance. You know what we call that? Uncivilized. I'm uncivilized? You're the one who just punched me. Aw, you big baby, that wasn't even a gentle tap. The terrible thing was that he looked completely serious about it. To be honest, I briefly entertained the thought that he was part of an abusive household or something. course, the guy took my thoughtful silence for penitence and steamed ahead. That's more like it. Name's Masato, Masato Kurogane. What's yours? Leaving. You're leaving? Yeah, right now. Call me rude, but I was at my breaking point. Getting a fist straight to the nose wasn't exactly welcoming. I might have admired this guy's courage and other disregard for social niceties, but other than that, he bugged me a lot. Oh, I see what you did there. But you can't leave, not before you've joined track. Track? Hell yeah, our club, man. It binds you for life, makes you sweat, gives you pain, stretches your physical constitution till you think you're gonna die. That sounds nice. If this guy thought that was a great sales pitch, he had a long way to go. Yeah, not interested. That ain't all, man. Track can save your life, just like it saved mine. Saved his life? Yeah, right. Good for you. Ain't it? Track's literally a lifesaver, man. Thanks, but no thanks. Hey, where you going? I'm just getting to the best part. I cried on the inside, but patiently nodded my head. If you get good enough, you can get a scholarship. This place don't come cheap, you know. Even a little amount would help your parents. Things were beginning to make sense. Is that why you're in track? Come to think of it, you still haven't told me your name. Interestingly enough, I found that I was actually beginning to like this guy. At least he wasn't superficial like everyone else. If anything, he was the opposite. He wore his heart on his sleeve. Besides, I needed something to do while we were reviewing drama. What else was I going to join? Art, dance, squirrel watching? Squirrel watching with bingo. I'm Yama Ishimoto. Huh? What kind of name is that? My parents like poetry. No way. Oh gosh, he was probably gonna rant about how poetry and literature is a waste of time. Who's their favorite? Matsuo Basho? Kobayashi Masaru? Or maybe foreign guys like Edgar Allan Poe or William Shakespeare? What the? You like poetry? Of course I do. Poetry is the manliest way to cry. This guy only got stranger. What about literature? Manliest way to hate people. Science? Manliest way to take stuff apart. Math? Manliest way to put stuff together. History? Manliest way to predict the future. Holy crap. By any chance, what are your grades? Average of 99. No way, the highest class average I ever had was a 92. This guy was smarter than me? I don't understand you at all. It's okay, you don't need to. You just gotta join track. On second thought, I didn't think he was smarter. He just studied harder. Still, it took guts and passion and everything I didn't have. Okay, I'll try out, but only for a little bit. Ha, I need to come around. Come on, let's get to track. Already? Don't you have other unfortunate souls to recruit? Nah. The others will take care of them. Let's go. Is that it for the flashback? And that was how I met Masato. I was never really a regular track member, but for some reason he always wanted me to be. Even now, I don't really understand why. Because he wants to help you. He probably just wants to help people become their best. But why would he pick me? When there's so many people who would love track and running and competitions and all that crap. Isn't that the whole point of picking you? Because I'm useless, so turning me into somebody useful means a lot? Nah, because you're a challenge. You know, that doesn't exactly make me feel any better. Why not? You should feel very, very loved. Oh, I do. A bit too loved. Masato probably sees you like a little cousin or a younger brother. Do you know that? What? Masato does? Why would he do that? You know, kid, sometimes they're just nice people in the world and you shouldn't question it. And sometimes there are ulterior motives behind everything. Masato Kurogane, ulterior motives? Haha. Well, that's true, I guess. It's not like Masato would fake anything. But it still doesn't make any sense. Why would he choose me, a random stranger, as his little brother? Because you need help, Yama. To be honest, I've usually thought of Masato as my little brother, since he's, you know, kind of obtuse and not cynical and embittered by the world. Something like that. Kind of innocent. Maybe you shouldn't be asking why your friends love you, Yama. Maybe you should be looking for ways to return that love instead of looking for ways to deserve it. Just silence. I sounded really cool, didn't I? I'm leaving. Oh, come on, kid. That was good. Admit it. I admit it. I'm still leaving. He only chuckles and slaps a hand on my shoulder. Have a good day, kid. I only nod wordlessly in response as I set out of his office. My throat almost feels clogged, as if I'd just heard something that I really, really needed to hear. Huh. You're verklempt, Yama. Maybe these meetings really are a good thing. Whoa, what? Move those legs, you filthy maggots. Move them double time. What the heck? What the heck? I peer around searching for the source of the noise and find Akira racing around the entrance, a large lumpy backpack slung over her shoulder. Oh, Sarge, please, pretty please. I've been running 6 miles. I swear I'm gonna collapse. I shouldn't be able to hear you over the sound of your tears, Private. Hop to it. Akira? I gingerly step in front of her and wave to catch her attention. She grinds to a halt, tilting her head curiously at me. What are you doing here? I'm here for drama club, of course. But no one else is here. I'm doing an immersion exercise, Liu. An immersion exercise? Yep. I need to act half dead from a boot camp, so I'm gonna run a mile around the school track with this backpack. A mile? But that backpack looks as big as her. Boot camp? Is that why you're calling me Liut? Nah, I'm calling you Liut because Liut is short. For a lieutenant? Well, darn my socks. Don't you catch on fast. Usually her antics would annoy me, but for some reason it's soothing right now. Like white noise in a messy world. Do you usually do things this intense for drama club? Oh no, this is easy. You should have seen what I had to do yesterday. I was a sadistic serial killer. Nice. What did you do for that? I ate a bunch of cereal. Wow. I'm not sure whether to feel relieved or exasperated. Say, Liu, if you don't have anything to do right now, why don't you join us? We're doing some exercises that you might like. What makes you think I'll like them? From what Rui says. What exactly does she say? That you'll like the exercises. That's cynic logic. On the contrary, it has nothing to do with bikes. Sigh. Well, technically, I don't have anything to do. Wait, Rui will be there? I thought that a silent Akira would be blessing, but it's just unsettling. Rui has something to do today, but if you come tomorrow, you can watch her bedazzle the crowd. Tomorrow's Saturday, isn't it? Oh, is it? You don't know what day of the week it is? It's Tuesday for my character. And in my defense, there's a half day on Saturdays. Just no clubs, which is kind of important. School on Saturdays? That would suck. She doesn't seem to hear me. Instead, she just checks her phone for the time. Hey, boot camp is ending. What about your mile? Let's go. She reaches out and grabs my wrist, but suddenly lets go as if it's burning iron. I send a questioning look at her, but she only shrugs it off. Come, Liu. Adventure awaits. Without further explanation, she marches into the classroom building. Well, this should be interesting. Come on, I want you to go home so we can read more Gover Mecher or whatever. Akira leads me into classroom 3A, where a dozen students are seated in a ring, looking expectantly at Akira. One of the girls immediately leaps to her feet. I recognize her as the drama club president. Where have you been, maggot? You know how late it is? Immediately, Akira stumbles forward as if she's dead exhausted, the backpack sliding from her shoulders and crashing to the ground. Sorry, sir. I took a detour. A detour? What kind of detour can you take on a training course? Akira? Is she Akira right now? Points a tremulous finger in my direction. He jumped on me, sir, out of nowhere. I don't even know how he got her. All eyes swiveled to me, waiting to see how I handle this sudden development. They're probably expecting me to dodge out, to freeze, or to just stare at them like they're a bunch of weirdos. Heck, even I'm expecting to do something along those lines. But instead, sheer instinct takes over. Years of make-believe molds me into what is needed at that moment, a foreign spy who haplessly stumbled onto a military operation. Sorry, I'm a tourist. Lost my way. I suddenly move my hand to my hip, where my imaginary gun holster lies. Surprisingly, the club president is perceptive enough to catch it. He's a spy. Right as I pretend to whip out my gun, Kira tackles my arm, throwing me to the ground. I feel a shot of pain run up my shoulder, ripping a very real cry of agony from my throat. Akira proceeds to deftly lock my arms behind my back, leaning over until her mouth is next to my ear. Drop the gun. Through the haze of pain, I manage to hold my character together. Akira nudges my arm, gentler this time, and I yell, opening my fingers in a releasing motion. Sir, what should I do? The club president kneels down, looking me straight in the eye. I tilt my head upward, staring as challengingly as I possibly can. Nice one. Strangers don't usually pick up so easily. The entire room relaxes as she sits before me, bowing her head slightly. Welcome to the drama club. I'm the club president. Sorry you came in on a pretty hectic day. No, it was interesting. Kira, could you let go of me? Kira suddenly squeaks, lunging away from me. An uncharacteristic blush crawls to her cheeks as she vainly attempts to cover her face with her hands. What, does she like him? Everyone likes the main character, holy. It's really unusual for her, but kind of cute. Almost reminds me of Ruri. I suppose they rubbed off on each other at this point. Quickly disregarding these thoughts, I focus back to my physical status, move my arm back to its regular position. It twinges painfully. I can't hide a wince, which the club president immediately notices. Oh gosh, are you okay? I test my arm for a moment, but the pain subsides. Probably just overstretched slightly. Nah, I should be fine. It's nothing compared to what Miki made me do before. Did I hurt you? I'm really sorry, Yama. It's fine, really. Are you sure? It's unsettling to see Akira so meek. I glance at the club president and raise an eyebrow. She seems to understand. Well, let's try some basic exercises before our next scenario. Stanislavski's magic if everyone. The rest of the club time is spent in playing around with different objects, pretending that pencils are bombs, chairs are clouds, and desks are shields. It's amazingly refreshing. I'd almost forgotten at how fun it was to just put everything aside and enter a completely different world. Even when the club's been dismissed, I feel a sense of lightness that I haven't felt in a long time. Hey Lute! Kira pops up next to me, now returned to her cheery self. Hey, where are you headed? Home. Don't you live in the dorms? I live in the world, therefore anywhere I go is my home. Bizarre as always, the only thing I've grown to understand about this girl is that I'll never understand her. Right, seriously, where are you going? Come to think of it, I have no clue what I'm doing here. Catch you later, Lute. I mean, see you later. And without any further explanation, she skips away. I shrug off my confusion, accepting it as a norm when one speaks with Akira, and head back to my apartment. Except something stops me at the entrance. By this time, all the students are living it up in town or doing nobody knows what in the school rec center. Nobody just hangs around the entrance. For most, the barred gates and curfew are just another sign of the restrictions instituted by helicopter parents. But beneath the shade of a tree in the far corner, I catch a sight of two figures facing each other with hands on hips. Oh, facing. Yeah, okay, I read that right. I inch forward. The figures are none other than Misaki and Rui immersed in conversation. Must you keep ignoring me, Rui? Because you have... Oh, because you've been gone for 4 years, Misaki? We didn't know where you went, or even why you had to leave. All these years, Yama and I were left in the dark. For all we knew, you could have been dead. How can you expect us to act like you never left? I still don't understand how Yama can be so forgiving after he almost... You know what? I'm tired of this. Just don't ever speak to me again, Misaki. She turns to stalk off, but Misaki grabs her wrist in the blink of an eye. I'm not letting you walk away again, damn it. Do you believe that I wanted to leave Sato? To move to District 6 with my mother, who by the way doesn't even deserve to be called my mother? What I don't understand is why you're blaming me for something I couldn't control. Mizaki's sudden outburst seems to catch Rui off guard. District 6 doesn't deserve to be called my mother? Just what happened to Mizaki after she left Sato? Mizaki, you're hurting my wrist. Oh, I'm sorry, Rui, I shouldn't have. The two girls seem to avoid each other's gazes for an awkward moment. Rui is the first to speak, her voice coming out in barely a whisper. Half a year after you left, we gave up. We thought you'd never contact us again. I was okay, but Yama, he thought that someone had left him, again, forever. Ooh. He thought that people would just keep leaving him, that no one would stay by his side. He locked himself in his room, pulled himself into a shell. I couldn't reach him, no one could. He didn't trust any of us to stay. Then I dropped by his house one day, and the medicine cabinet was open, and this huge bottle was gone. You mean? Yeah. You know how hands off his parents have always been. The ambulance barely made it in time. They had to start pumping him on site. That's how bad it was. Was it really that bad? To understand why I was so upset. I had no idea, Rui. Just where were you, Miki? Why couldn't you have just... Rui breaks off and covers her face with her hands. Mizaki's expression crumples. She hesitantly reaches toward Rui. And Rui promptly kicks her in the shin? Nice. Dummy Miki, why did you take so long? Yeah. Why weren't you there for Yama? Why weren't you there for me? I missed you. Rui! And now they're draped against each other, sobbing like newborn children. What just happened? They made up. I quietly inch away from the scene, feeling the sudden sense that they need privacy. At least they made up, well, from the looks of it. It almost seems like Rui was just really overwhelmed from keeping secrets. My memory of that time is very faint, but hers must be crystal clear. Her terror, her anguish, when she stumbled on me, must have been festering inside her all these years, because mentioning anything could have sent me over the brink. She's always had to fake smiles, put me first, pick me up when I'd fallen down. Something itches in the back of my mind, weird kind of dizziness threatening to overcome me. I force it back until I can become more detached. I really don't want to think about that time, but thankfully I can suppress it for now. Rui, she was never one to hide away from her feelings. She faced that pain full force. Little wonder that seeing Miki again had brought all that to the surface. And Miki. She said she moved to District 6 with Satomi, something she hadn't told me when I first saw her 2 days ago. Why would she resent her mother so passionately? Also, why would they move to District 6 almost or the most poverty-stricken area in Samu. Maybe they had no money. It certainly makes me curious, but then again, it's really none of my business. At least she and Rui are friends again, so maybe now the three of us can go back to the way we were. No, Yama, you're gonna ruin everything. I can't hide a smile as I lounge against the couch after whipping some dinner, replaying the exchange in my head. I'm glad they've made up, really glad. Somehow it feels like a big burden has been lifted off me, even though I technically had nothing to do with the argument. And now, I'm getting all sappy. Let's see, what should I do tonight? Let's watch some Gover. Work on homework with someone. I hate that it doesn't let you save, because I'd like to see like the different, you know, things that go on. I guess I should save more, but I don't. Heck, why not? Let's save again. The episode opens with President J. Graves chugging along a road in a large SUV, in a shot that looks suspiciously like an American car commercial. Suddenly, a blur crashes down from the sky and lands on the hood of his car, stopping him immediately. This is like my favorite part of the game, these parts. Stop right there, monsieur. You are trespassing on the French border. President Graves steps out of the car, coming face to face with a teen in a striped shirt, red scarf, floppy beret, and a thin, twirled mustache. Who is this pretentious buffoon, and what business have you in stopping? I'm just going to say American, okay? It's easier. That's what it is. I am Diamond France. Oh, sweet. Thanks. Leader of the 865th Resistance. France answers to me, and me alone. This introduction is punctuated by a very sudden passage of Editune accordion. I'll give you a follow back. You can order France around all you like, but I am a proud American. We have natural rights and liberty, and nothing can hold us down. I know why your crime rate is so high, no? Are you insulting my freedom? Enough. Gover Mecher. Not so fast. Diamond France suddenly reaches into his beret and pulls out a whip. How'd they fit that into a hat? You may have your little toy, monsieur, but nothing can defeat my whip. You think that pansy little whip can take on Gover Mecher? The whip is what keeps my team of visual novel writers, my millions of countrymen in line. Do not underestimate it. Ha, we'll see how great that whip is when I'm done with it. Gover Mecher, mobilize. I surrender. Wow. Before Gover Mecher can even chug onto the scene, Diamond France has whipped a white flag out of his beret and is frantically waving it in the air. You what? Already? We're French. We're very good at surrendering. Is that something to be proud of? We're French. We're proud of everything. Just then, Gover Mecher, it's in all its stop motion and toy model glory, bursts into the scene, whirling expectantly at President Graves. President Graves only taps it lightly on the foot with a sad smile. Sorry, bud. False alarm. Wow. I swear that Gover Mecher's shoulders droop in disappointment as it chugs away like a rejected puppy. Suddenly, Diamond France throws the flag into President Gover's face. Oh, Graves' face with a triumphant shout. Aha! Victory is mine! What? Where's your sense of honor? We're French. We're very good at being dishonorable. Oh my gosh. Stop saying that. Then we shall proceed, no? Come, robot of anguish, let us wreak havoc together. As Diamond France dramatically spins around, President Graves claps his hand over his ears. Gover Mecher, mobilize! As Diamond France's robot oozes... Oh, hello! oozes into its farm like some abstract French art film, Gover Mecher tears on... Mecher, there's no R in that, tears onto the screen with renewed vigor. But Diamond France lashes his whip at its knee, causing it to flop on the ground. Ha, your little pet is no match for France, no? We'll see about that. He leaps into the cockpit as Gover Mecher jerkily pulls itself to its feet. What the heck? Diamond France leaps into his own mech, now molded into a deformed Eiffel Tower with a cockpit duct taped to the front, and rushes at Gover Mecher. Prienza Celis Estranges? I don't know. Please no one trigger, if I say it wrong. Speaking English heathen. The mechs crash against each other, swinging metallic limbs haphazardly as Diamond France opens his cockpit, tossing strange objects at President Graves. Baguette of destruction, eclairs of elimination, final croissant. Oh my gosh. Are these pastries? Ha, they're no match for Full House chocolate chip cookies. As the French pastries harmlessly bounce off of Gover Mecher's armor, President Graves chucks back his own weapon. It promptly explodes in 100 other chocolate chip cookies, which explode again until Diamond France's mech kneels to the floor, finally defeated. Sacre bleu, you have defeated me. Stick to art, monsieur, since you clearly suck at fighting. I won't forget these. Diamond France shakes his fist in anger as he limps away into the sunset. President Graves only grins smugly, reboards his SUV and continues down the road, blasting traditional rock and roll with both windows down. Nice. Technically, this series should be abominably offensive, but for some reason, I'm just amused by it. I think I'm actually becoming fond of it. The sudden ring of my phone breaks me into my thoughts. Detective lady? Yeah. Sigh, I'd better answer this one. Oh, I got an achievement. Shigeru? Ishiyama, a most intriguing circumstance has transpired and necessitates immediate reagency. I'm not going on another little goose chase if that's what you mean. Oh, I aver that this is of far more expediency than a mere preliminary. Despite myself, I'm intrigued. And what would that be? The police have come to an impasse and exact cojuvency for the recent disappearance within Insimu Imperial Boarding Academy. Are you conversant with the cases? I ruefully think back to the events of the morning. Yeah, I'm somewhat familiar with the recent disappearances. Well, I should hope so, given that you attend the very institution. At any rate, you must meet me at the school tomorrow morning. We are scouring every last inch of that campus, even if it requires neglecting sleep. With luck, a crucial piece of evidence may be uncovered. Disappearances, neglecting sleep, evidence? What's going on? So we're searching the academy for a lead on the recent disappearances? That is to what I previously adverted. Are you deaf or merely improficient at fathoming such elementary conceptualizations with your tawdry intellectuality? There goes a canon for real abuse. I'm honestly impressed. I can't match her in that regard. But no one disturbed my sleep. No one. And you expect me to pull an all-nighter for this? Well, naturally. The case demands it. I'm not doing that. Get some other people to help. On the contrary, as I have no qualms with neglecting sleep, you should be the one recruiting. Gather your accomplices as you deem necessary, Ishiyama, and meet by the school gates at 8 AM sharp. But isn't it illegal to share confidential case information with civilians? It ought to be felonious to possess such infinitesimal acumen. You are not Oh, yet you are not incarcerated. That doesn't answer my question. Should you choose to go alone, know that you will be spending the entirety of your day in investigation. I'm not even getting paid. If you really don't want to do it, you don't have to. But we both know you're already too curious for that. That what's really unfair is that she's actually right. Sometimes I wish that she was oblivious and stupid, but then again, she wouldn't be Shigeru. Guess I have a lot of calls to make. When I arrive, we don't get any flashback things or anything. When I arrive at the academy the next morning, I find a fairly sizable group of people gathered by the gate, none of them looking particularly happy with me. Well, look who actually showed up. Elizabeth's definitely the angriest. I probably shouldn't have pulled the blackmail card to get her here, but at the same time, I need as many people as I can get. Blackmailing people. You thought I wouldn't? Honestly, no. I was the guy who organized this. Why wouldn't I show up? Once an irresponsible person, always an irresponsible person. Would you like some pepper with that salt? I'm just telling him how to improve. Sure you are. You haven't said a single constructive thing. Does he deserve it? He doesn't bloody take anything seriously. Has he ever excelled? Ever? Is it still about that stupid project from last year? It wasn't stupid. Clearly, you don't have the brains to understand. Hey, lay off her. Guys, can we just... Oh, there's lots of people. Stay with this, Ayakiko. Look, Elizabeth, I've tried to just ignore you. I thought you improved because Yama stopped talking about you. But you're too stubborn to think you might be wrong. You know nothing about me. Stop shooting off your mouth like an ignorant. You come here and say that to me? Yeah, boss, need the let loose for ya spill 'em. Condone what you done, eh? For a second I find myself double checking whether that was indeed Mizaki Kazehaya who just spoke. Judging from the fact that everyone else looks just as bewildered as me, the answer is a resounding yes. The commotion immediately comes to a halt, Masato seemingly the only person who actually registered what Misaki just said. She's right, ain't no use in us arguing. Well, alright then. Guess that's one way to diffuse an angry Masato. What makes it a little scary was how easily Misaki could do so. Elizabeth and Ryu turn away in a huff, but they stay silent. I'm not completely sure whether it's out of respect for Misaki or if they simply don't have the energy to keep arguing. Well, this is getting off to a great start. It appears you acquired a respectable quantity of potential peons after all, Ishiyama. Now Shigeru is here, which will either fix everything or make matters much, much worse. Show us where it's the same thing. I'm betting on the latter. Wait, is that... Harry? What are you doing here? You! I elbow him in the ribs to shut him up. He seems to understand. She's with me, obviously. I, on the other hand, have my own inquiry. By what means have you acquainted yourself with Ari Higara? How do I know her? Same school, remember? And yet you address her with some similitude of fellowship. So how do you know her? I hold no obligation to acknowledge inquiries impelled by a marginally competent plebeian. With this kind of affirmation of my hard effort, she moves into the group, examining each person from head to toe. They only stare back, unsure of how to react. Intriguing. Oh, I see. What are you doing? Shigeru only returns to the center of the group without another word. My name is Shigeru Enomoto. I am a freelance detective. Ain't you kinda young for that? I'm 26 years of age, you tedious imbecile and legally certified. She She's so harsh. She flashes her badge at Matsuto, who only shrugs. You're 26? Yes. Pray keep yourself from any further counterproductive disruptions. After a moment of silence, during which she takes a deep breath, with Eri comfortingly patting her back, she seems to regain control. You have been summoned on account of an extremely important affair. As you might expect, I cannot divulge details due to the confidential nature of the case. However, I can tell you the following. We are searching for any information that may be related to the recent disappearances of Academy students. You must be meticulous, you must be witty, you must be adaptable, and above all, you must stay alive. Her words carry unusual dramatic weight. A quick glance around the area confirms my suspicion. Every person is leaning towards Shigeru, a glimmer of excitement in their eyes. Even Elizabeth seems interested. Heck, I'm looking forward to this. Turns out that Shigeru can be inspiring when she really wants to. Investigate all areas of the school until noon, where we shall reconvene at the garden rooftop to debrief. Leave no stone unturned. The lives of innocent citizens lie in our hands. Isn't this even? There's supposed to be lots of different endings for this game, so. And I don't save very much. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1 break. Every person in the group tears off in every direction. Only Eri, Rui, and Shigeru remain. Rui shuffles closer to Shigeru with a sly smile. Or shy smile. I'm sorry. Would it be okay if I tagged along with you? Being a detective just sounds so cool. But of course, only if it's okay with you and Eri. I noticed Shigeru's chest puff up slightly like a proud veteran aiming to impress the newbies. Rui probably scored some extra points by including Eri. Well, if you insist. Eri? Eri glances from Rui to Shigeru and back, the edge of her brow furrowing slightly. Shigeru, noting her hesitation, tries a comforting smile. Remember? Eri stares vacantly at Shigeru for a long moment, then nods, the corners of her lips rising just slightly. It's settled. What's your name? I'm Ryu Hayata. We must depart at once, Rui. Enlightenment awaits. As she promptly dashes away, ruin her heels, Eri briefly glances in my direction as she follows them out. I spend an idle moment relishing the fresh air against my face and the glorious serenity of silence. Then I straighten my shoulders and evaluate my surroundings, ready to start my investigation. Cool. So I'd saved not long ago, so I can always go back and choose different ones. Entrance, cafeteria, rooftop, courtyard. Is somewhere gonna get murdered? Probably not the cafeteria. Let's say the rooftop. Just cause. Maybe I need to take a step back and look at the bigger picture. The rooftop is always a good place for a bird's eye view of the campus. That's a nice rooftop. If I was looking for scenery, the rooftop would be an ideal place to do so. Open face and stretching high above the majority of the school, the rooftop is rife with luscious trees and flowering, blooming, and aesthetic arrangements. It's also fairly quiet, which is pretty surprising given how nice it is. Then again, most of the students would rather be fiddling around on their phones or social media. But I don't really have time to sit and take a look around, so I head right to the edge of the greenhouse to get a good look at the campus. No girls around to woo. It's kind of boring. That definitely sounds like Yahiko. Why? These trees are just as pretty as girls. And that's definitely Akira. What? Trees can't talk. Is it that the trees can't talk, or that you can't hear the trees? Huh? Just because trees haven't had their civil rights movement yet doesn't mean that they don't have a voice. I slide around the edge of the roof towards the voices. I spot Akira perched on the branch of a large tree, and Yahiko slumped in a bench by a bed of roses like a model. But the trees don't have brains. You don't either, and look how well you talk. I do talk well, don't I? Not surprised that he missed that. I am surprised that Akira would think of such a sarcastic reply. Maybe Rui's rubbing off on her. Wait, what are we looking for again? The meaning of life. We can find that on the rooftop? Well, it depends on what the meaning of life is to you. Can there be multiple meanings of life? That's also up to you. This is too confusing. Okay, forget it. Let's look for whatever we're supposed to look for, my good minion. Oh, I wouldn't expect to find the meaning of life in the afternoon. We're not looking for the meaning of life. On the contrary, everyone's looking for the meaning of life. I choose that moment to make my presence known by sliding forward. Akira's face lightens up with a brief smile as she waves me over. Seppadoodle dandy cap? Cap? She's probably short for captain. Why does she keep referring to me as all these military titles? Yama, my good minion. Help a man poor in spirit, won't you? What's that supposed to mean? I can't seem to remember what we're supposed to be looking for. I tried asking this girl, but I'm an Atari 400? Okay, that one's beyond even me. You know, Atari 400, one of those old computers with really tiny memory? In other words, I can't remember either. Why does she look so happy about this fact? Randomly disappearing students. Ring a bell? Ah. Say no more, my man. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. Wow. On to cedar root out of our problems. Besides, I've taken a lichen to mysteries. They're growing on me. Or lichen, whatever. Not lichen, lichen. I can't decide whether those puns are fantastic or terrible. Maybe they're both, as puns usually are. You talk weird, my minion, but your benevolent leader, I can overlook your little idiotasness. That's a little ironic coming from a guy who can't even properly say idiosyncrasies. I can't even say it properly either. Understood, you gracious supreme high majesticalness. What move should we make next? Yahiko's chest swells up for a moment, clearly pleased with being called a gracious supreme whatever. I'd better jump in before this turns disastrous. We need to do something about the case. I say we branch out. Maybe separate investigations would bear some fruit. Enough with the plant puns, Akira. Is it driving you nutty? I'll get you more puns yet. He's not looking happy. Oh crap, I can't stop hearing puns, even unintentional ones. Should we cherry him up? Or would that just soil it? Wouldn't that take too long? Okay, bring it back. This isn't a comedy show. We need to focus on the case. Yeah, this is supposed to be a horror game, and it has lots of humor in it. I know we're in bad shape, but when I'm the person who has to get everyone organized... Aw, you're a real soil sport, Yama. Because plant puns are stupid beyond belief. I didn't mean to say it like that. Say what? Let's just review what we're looking for. You really don't need to be so snappy. Kira. It's the harshest I've ever spoken, but I can't help it. I can barely handle these two by themselves. Together they harbor the potential destructive power of a nuclear weapon. So Shigeru's certain that there's a lead to the disappearances at the school. Have you guys found anything out? Ah, my good minion. I'm glad you asked. I guess I should have picked a different way. As I'm sure you're aware of by now, the great Yahiko Ikari sustains a large and precise intelligence network called Patter. He delicately whips out his phone, pulling out some social media app or another. Yes, I see. But have you divined from the magic mirror, oh fruititious awesomeness? Are you sure you can handle all this information? I must take upon this burden for the greater good. Do not hold back your masterful benevolence. Very well. He dramatically flings out an arm, pointing his phone to the sky, as if calling down thunder from the heavens. But first, I require reception. Your unlimited ominence? That's a bit sad, isn't it? Well, reception isn't good up here. On a roof, it's not good. Can't you just use the school Wi-Fi? Why? So I can. And the cap strikes again. I worry for the decaying common sense in my generation. Oh, here's what we got. Or okay, here's what we got. Patter, my wish is your command. You must now search for me. Hashtag IIBA. Now, how we managed to say that in a completely serious voice, I have no clue. What exactly does IIBA stand for? Instant Iguanas by Architecture, of course. Really? All this time, I thought it meant Instant Imperial Boarding Academy. This combo is a disaster in the making. How about you just tell me what you find? Right, scanning through the extensive network of plebeians. Momentary pause as Yahiko fingers flick wildly over the screen. I skipped a letter. Or word. Yep, Got it. What exactly does that mean? Allow me to enlighten you, minion. 3 students have disappeared so far. The names are Midori Mino, Tuma Hayashi, and Aiken Tsukino. Midori poofed 8 days ago, Tuma around 5 days ago, and Aiken just 2 days ago. And there you have it. Wait for him to elaborate. He doesn't. Is that it? Is what it? We need more info than that. We do? Aw, Cap, let me take over. She gracefully plucks Yahiko's phone from his hands. Alright, Cap. I'll give it to you straight, like black coffee with no sugar or cream. There's something mighty fishy about this whole scenario, see? All these students disappeared around the same time. Yahiko just said they disappeared within 8 days. Why, I mean time of day, silly Caparino. You remember the curfew, right? 11:30 p.m. sharp, no exceptions. Here's the thing, all these kiddos logged in for curfew on time, 11:30, right in their rooms. But then they were gone by the next morning. Surprised by her deductive reasoning. Creepy, eh? You have stars in your eyes when you say that? Logically, she should be scared, not that Akira's ever been logical until today. I guess rational Akira only surfaces for short periods of time. So 3 students, one after another, all logged in for curfew before disappearing in the dead of night. And you didn't think to mention this, Yahiko? Oh well, I mean, I knew about it, but like, who cares about that kind of stuff, right? What? I mean, look at what really matters. He seizes his phone back with gusto, excitedly shoving the screen in my face. My Gover Mecher publicity pat, 12th Avenue Pat's baby. Congratulations on this life-changing milestone, your chaotical dictatorship. I know, right? I'm famous. Yeah, now I think about it, I'm pretty sure I've gotten all I can from here. Good, leave. Holy. I quietly creep away to another corner of the rooftop, leaving them to their own devices. The rendezvous arrives before I know it. That was a whole waste of time. Within a few minutes, everyone's gathered on the rooftop. I take stock of the unfortunates. Rui, Shigeru, and Ari seem disappointed. Yahiko and Elizabeth seem tired. Mizaki and Akira seem to be unchanged, and Masato looks like he's on the brink of death. Despite the idiocies of bureaucracy, it appears that a crucial piece of information did surface. That the students all disappeared even after curfew? Yes, well, I guess it was useful. You may elaborate further, Ishiyama? I glance around, but no one else seems willing to talk, not even Rui, who is excited to play detective. Well, basically, each of the students logged in for their 11:30 p.m. curfew in their rooms. By all intents and purposes, that should have rendered them safe. Even if they're allowed to leave the dorm building, they have to stay on campus. It's not like anyone else can get in with the security parameters around the building. It's another student. So we have something strange on our hands, since they disappear when they shouldn't be able to. Well, as I decide our next course of action, I recommend that each of you obtain your desired nourishment. Dismissed. She plops down on a nearby bench, digging through her satchel. Ari settles next to her. Oh, yeah, I changed it. Well, thanks for stopping by, Paradox Cookies. I appreciate it. Have a good night, or day, or morning, whatever time it is for you. So we're pulling a peach out of her backpack. The others take various places around the rooftop greenhouse, retrieving lunch boxes from their bags. I notice Yahiko slide into the bench next to Mizaki. Elizabeth sits opposite of Shigeru alone. Akira whips out a net Deanna Helson XVI and lays her on the floor. When Rui and Masato attempt to sit on her, Akira gestures frantically at Rui. Oh. Yeah. Rui quickly makes her way to me, extending a lunchbox with 2 hands. Hey, you didn't bring any food, right? I made extra. You can have it if you want. You made enough food to fill an extra lunchbox? I accidentally made a lot more than I expected, okay? Just take it. I can only stare at the lunchbox, my mind racing ahead of me. Should I? I'd rather not hurt her feelings, but isn't accepting homemade food from someone synonymous with accepting their feelings? I glance at Akira for help, but she's pointedly looking away from us. Maybe she wants to give us privacy. Take it before my arm falls off, idiot. That's the break for me. I'm comfortable enough to accept the lunchbox. Thanks. No problem. She suddenly dashes back to Annette, you know, the blanket, leaving me alone with the lunchbox. I glance inside. Delicious eggs are neatly rolled and topped with seaweed, set in an aesthetic bouquet beside a bed of rice. The rice is shaped into a lantern decorated with lettuce, carrots, and cucumber. It looks unbelievably delicious, but just when I'm about to dig in, some commotion catches my attention. So what's like being in Lotus modeling? Do you live an extravagant life with servants who wait on your beck and call? I wouldn't say extravagant, but it is fun. You get to meet so many people, visit many new places, try so many new things. It's a great experience. Although it can be really demanding sometimes. Demanding how? It's a competitive business, so it requires a lot of commitment. That's why I'm usually absent from class. And the school allows that? Surprisingly, my grades aren't being affected, so I suppose they don't see it as a problem. Do you think Lotus would have an opening for the great Yahiko Ikari? I highly doubt that his grades would allow him to work as a model. You are handsome, so I don't see why not. Did you just call Yahiko handsome? I admit, he's not bad looking, but I didn't expect her to be so blunt about it. Yeah, you're right. Of course they wouldn't deny my impeccable charms. What's your number? I'll be sure to text you when I find something. I can only shake my head incredulously as they begin sharing contact info. I dig into my free lunch, relishing the explosion of flavor in my mouth. Rui's really improved at cooking. As I eat, I continue to examine my surroundings. The next group to catch my attention is Ari and Shigeru. Ari is quietly munching on her peach in her standard baby hamster fashion. Shigeru, meanwhile, has propped her feet up on a flower bed like a gangster. She appears to be eating some kind of sweet green dumpling. Shigeru? Yeah? Or yes? Is that enough? What, this? She gestures to the green balls in her hand. Ari nods. More than enough. They're melon paste mochi, the root of immortality. What? There are no vegetables, no fruit, no protein. Well, yes, but It's not nutritious. Eat some vegetables? Or veggies? If you insist, Harry. Harry shares a rare smile at this. I'm surprised by how open she is around Shigeru. It makes me wonder how they know each other. Not only that, but Shigeru actually listens to Eri. It seems like Eri's the only one who can put her in her place. Galloping goats. You don't mean to say. I do indeed. He's gone by now, far beyond behind the city limits and out of your scheming hands. And there goes those two again. You must understand the meaning of omniscient, my dear Lady Bingham. Ha! As if you could beat true love. Oh no, I happen to know that your lover is hiding. Right there, right here. She whipped her fingers around in my direction, but thankfully Masato suddenly steps in front. Huh? Me? Jumping jackals. I always thought that sort of thing only happened in dramas. It's a proper Destiny-like moment, isn't it? Masato, my true love? Yeah, I don't think so. Masato seems to take this as a challenge. Every muscle tightens with competitive aggression as he steps between Rui and Akira, brandishing an imaginary sword. Come on and fight me, you big coward. Yes, I'm here. I challenge you to a duel to the death. No, duel to the pain. I smell disaster afoot. The hell's a duel to the pain? First your feet are cut off below the ankles, then your hands at the wrist, and then your eyes, and then your tongue. That's only if I lose, right? Easy now. Fight me, you crooked canary. On second thought, peace. You can be with your true love. She flees away from the scene, taking cover behind Shigeru. What are you doing? I'm hiding by the Alps. You're the Alps. Go away. I am not the Alps. That's what the Alps always say. Leave. Oh, in an unusual burst of energy, she reaches out and shoves Akira to the ground. Everything happens at once. Rui rushes to Akira, worriedly checking her for injury. Elizabeth and Mizaki immediately get to their feet. Yahiko freezes while Masato sprints at Shigeru. The hell was that about? I'm thinking. Don't disturb me when I'm thinking. You didn't have to shove her. She wouldn't have left otherwise. How'd you know that, eh? Took a moment to analyze all of you when we first met, if you recall. You can't know somebody by one look. You can if you possess at least one functional hemisphere of a brain. Don't talk like that, Shigeru. Guys, I'm fine. Let's just calm down. This does nothing to stop the rising tension. Even I can't help but feel amped up. It's one thing for Shigeru to insult me and another for her to insult one of my friends. It's pretty harsh. Even if I insult him all the time. Yeah, I'm a hypocrite, I know. Just let me be, I need to think. Ain't you gonna say you're sorry? I won't say I'm sorry for something I have no reason to be sorry for. Akira didn't even do anything to you. She had no awareness of the comfort of others. She completely disregarded Eri's feelings on the matter. Everyone's eyes land on Eri, who stares blankly at her peach. Come to think of it, Akira would have been right next to Eri. I didn't mean to make anyone uncomfortable. I thought you guys were lonely. Just because you may be lonely in an identical situation does not give you the right to push your opinions on other people. I'm sorry. You did nothing wrong, Kira. Stop this, Shigeru. On the contrary, you two were the ones horsing around, dragging everyone into your uncomfortable scenarios. Hey, ain't you the one making us investigate for you? I did nothing of the sort. Ishiyama was your requester. That ain't no excuse. Stop being so single-minded and think for once. All you can do is band together like sheep. Why don't you approach this from Eri's perspective? Everyone once again looks to Eri, who stops munching on her peach. Well, you just put her on the spot, which would make her uncomfortable. Don't speak as if you know more than I. Maybe you're the stubborn one, huh? This is degenerating fast. What's surprising is that Elizabeth and Mizaki aren't making a move. They're just sitting back, watching the display before them without emotion. Clearly, they value Shigeru too highly to fight back, which means I have to do it. Rui, you may be saying this because you're still learning, but in the world of detectives, no, what you did was unnecessary, Shigeru. Please don't tell me that this is real life. Don't you lecture me about what real life is or is not. Shut up, all of you. Amazingly, they actually quiet down. Kira, you okay? Brighter than rain, Cap. There's a slight tremble to her voice, but I ignore it. No need to stir up any more trouble. Good, Shigeru. Don't shove people. If she was making Eri uncomfortable. Eri? Were you uncomfortable? A tense moment of silence falls on the group. Eri only shrugs inconclusively. Okay, whatever. Kira, don't get too close again. Shigeru, don't shove Akira again. Solved. But that's not fair too. Solved. That's it. Understood? Okay, I'm gonna stop streaming soon. Just a little bit more and then see if anything interesting happens. But I gotta stop soon. Solved. That's it. Understood? Thankfully, she nods solemnly. Shigeru only straightens her glasses, but I'm pretty sure that she'll also behave herself. Presently, I notice that Elizabeth and Mizaki are looking at me with a tinge of respect. Well, at least someone's pleased with me. Guys, why don't we cool off a bit? Let's do something fun. Nobody seems to react, but somehow I can tell that they're all interested. Fighting has a way of sucking you dry. Maybe it would be better to redirect everyone's energy to something else. Something where if they end up fighting, at least they won't cause permanent emotional or physical scars. What do you suggest? Watching a movie. I sadly shake my head. We never get everyone to agree on the same movie. I mean, how about an amusement park? Amusement park? Yeah, there's a new high-tech one by the mall, you know, with the new Lemniscate attractions. I vaguely recall seeing something like that on the news. Lemniscate, the mega corporation of all things technical and media-related, partnering with a handful of large amusement parks all over the country. Apparently, they were going to revolutionize entertainment. Oh, those looked amazing. Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm in. Elizabeth only shakes her head. As remarkable as it sounds, I must pass. I have other duties to attend to. I consider this for a moment. Should I let her go? She did try her best in the investigation, but the image of squealing Elizabeth on the top of a roller coaster is just too good to pass up. Elizabeth, do you know anything about coffee? Her face pales and she quickly glances around at the others. When they only return a look of confusion, she storms over to me, angrily hissing into my ear. Stop that. And come with us. Give me one reason. Because you don't want anyone to find out about your job. Give me another reason. Because you'd be alone if you stayed here, and that's kind of sad to me. The thought comes before I can stop it. I quickly wave it away so it won't take root. The last thing I need right now is to sympathize with Elizabeth. Because I'm so dashing. That isn't a good reason. You ask for a reason that doesn't necessarily merit a good one. Blimey, I simply can't believe you. She steps back, raising her voice so everyone can hear. Fine, but who's paying? Oh, not playing. I look to Shigeru, everyone follows suit. For a second, the detective stares back at us, uncomprehending. Then she leaps to her feet, face coloring in anger. No, absolutely not. Why? I harbor no incentive in chaperoning an inordinately extensive conglomerate of cognitively impaired juveniles to a venue whose solitary objective is the frivolous squandering of time. These insults only fuel me to think harder. The amusement park won't be cheap. We need Shigeru to pay for us. The question is, what would make her? Oh, of course. If it has anything to do with the case, Shigeru will be there in the blink of an eye. Well, I wasn't going to mention this because it seemed trivial at the time, but there was a minor lead from today. And you did not think to tell me sooner? Like I said, it felt too trivial for me to mention. Honestly, I don't really want to go to the park, but I feel like it might give us some important information. Well, what was the lead? Ad-libbing in front of a teacher is one thing, but ad-libbing in front of Shigeru is a different matter entirely. I struggled to work past my sluggish brain for the answer. While there were some claims that the Yakuza might own the amusement park, it would give us a clue on how students are able to leave the campus after curfew. Wait, there's no reason for the Yakuza to be affiliated with the two appearances. Well, that would tie two controversial pieces of evidence from last week. Is she serious? Eri, amusement park? I shouldn't go. Remember? Remember what? Surprisingly, Eri's silence only seems to strengthen Shigeru's resolve. Don't think of it in such a manner. Farewell, Ishiyama, let us depart. Really? And you're paying for everyone? Oh, yes, with your future wages. I'm not even getting paid. Hey, what's going on up here? As if there wasn't a party enough, Mr. Ryuta arrives on the scene, brandishing a ruler in his right hand. He stops short upon seeing our little group. Yama? Hey, Mr. Ryuta. Why, if it isn't the J-Man? Sup, Mr. Ryuta. Hey, gents, ladies. What the hell is going on up here? The third floor offices swore up and down that someone was getting murdered. I recall the decibel level of the recent argument and feel slightly guilty. Were we that loud? Loud enough that I'm supposed to give a disturbance warning, apparently. He brandishes a pile of detention notes threateningly. Everyone stiffens except Shigeru and me. Probably a bad sign. Oh no, please, Mr. Aita. Whatever could be wrong, Miss Oshiro. And with a total lack of elegance, he flings the slips of paper over the banister of the roof, throwing down in shards of flapping pink to the school pool below. Listen, kids. You totally weren't here. The offices were totally just hallucinating, and I totally did not just toss the detention slips into the pool. Relief pops up on everyone's faces. Trust Miss Dorita to be the rebel. Now scram before they fire me, yeah? We don't need any further encouragement. We rush away from the rooftop greenhouse and down the stairs. Thankfully, the walk to the amusement park is uneventful. Nobody seems to notice when we pass by 6 police cars in the space of half an hour. Wow. The Palace theme park is startlingly successful, considering how recently it was founded, but that can largely be credited to its cutting-edge attractions. Even minor details like the hologram park maps in every segment or the experimental cleaning whirling around. Everything makes the place seem like a piece of the future. And I'm gonna stop playing now. Save here. And yeah, so I'm gonna stop streaming. I'm hoping the game gets more, like, I don't know. It seems like it takes forever to get even just a tiny piece of, like, you know, it's supposed to be a horror game. I am enjoying it, but it's just a lot of reading of stuff that seems not necessary to me. I like the Gover Mecher thing though. That thing's funny. But anyway, thanks for stopping by the stream. I'll try to stream, I don't know, maybe tomorrow sometime, later in the day. I don't really have a stream schedule, but whenever I have time. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. See ya!